Since the bar has been blessed by the clergy, and cocktails start the dinners of special people, one may talk about the saloon. People who don't drink alcohol don't have to listen. They can always go to the slot restaurant, where a dime dropped into the cold soup machine will give a dry martini. Con Lantry worked on the sober side of the bar in Keneally's Cafe. You and I stood, one-legged like geese, on the other side and spent our week's wages. Opposite danced Con, clean, not drinking alcohol, clear-headed, polite, in a white jacket, on time, trustworthy, young, responsible, and took our money. The saloon, whether blessed or cursed, was in one of those little places which are rectangles instead of streets, and were home to laundries, old Knickerbocker families, and bohemians who had nothing to do with either. Keneally and his family lived above the cafe. His daughter Catherine had dark Irish eyes. But why should you be told? Be happy with your Geraldine or your Eliza, for Con dreamed of her. And when she called softly at the bottom of the back stairs for the pitcher of beer for dinner, his heart went up and down like a milkshake in the shaker. Orderly and fit are the rules of romance. And if you throw the last coin of your fortune upon the bar for whiskey, the bartender shall take it and marry his boss's daughter, and good things will come out of it. But not so for Con. For in front of a woman he was shy and turned red. He who would calm the noisy young man whom the claret punch made talkative, or smash with a lemon squeezer the loud, or throw to the gutter the troublesome without a wrinkle coming to his white tie. When he stood before a woman he was speechless, confused, stuttering, buried under a hot avalanche of shyness and misery. What then was he before Catherine? A trembling person, with no words to say, a stone without charm, the quietest lover that ever talked about the weather in front of his goddess. Two sunburned men, Riley and McQuirk, came to Keneally's. They had a meeting with Keneally, and then they took a back room which they filled with bottles and siphons and jugs and measuring glasses. All the things and liquids of a bar were there, but they gave no drinks. All day long the two worked hard in there, pouring and mixing unknown drinks from the liquors in their store. Riley had the education, and he wrote on lots of paper, changing gallons to ounces and quarts to small amounts. McQuirk, a grumpy man with a red eye, threw each bad mixture into the waste pipes with soft, husky, and deep curses. They worked hard and tirelessly to find some mysterious solution, like two wizards trying to make gold from simple elements. One evening, when Con finished his work, he walked into the back room. He was very curious about these strange bartenders who made drinks that no one drank, and who used Keneally's liquors every day for their endless and useless experiments. Down the back stairs came Catherine with her smile like the sunrise on Guibera Bay. "Good evening, Mr. Lantry," she said. "And what is the news today, please?" "It looks like our rain," stammered the shy Con, moving back to the wall. "It couldn't be better," said Catherine. "I think everything is better with a little water." In the back room, Riley and McQuirk worked hard like bearded witches over their strange drinks. From 50 bottles, they took liquids carefully measured by Riley's numbers and shook them all together in a big glass jar. Then McQuirk would throw it out with sad and angry words, and they would start again. "Sit down," said Riley to Con, "and I'll tell you. Last summer Tim and I decided that an American bar in Nicaragua would be good. There was a town on the coast where there's nothing to eat but medicine and nothing to drink but rum. The people and foreigners got sick with chills and fevers, and a good mixed drink is nature's remedy for all such tropical problems. So we bought a fine stock of drinks in New York, and bar fixtures and glassware, and we sailed for that Santa Palma town on a lime steamer. On the way, Tim and I saw flying fish and played cards with the captain and steward, and we began to feel like the kings of the tropics. When we got within 5 hours of the country that we were going to introduce to long drinks and short change, the captain called us over and remembered a few things. "I forgot to tell you boys," he said, "that Nicaragua put an import tax of 48% on all bottled goods last month. The president took a bottle of Cincinnati hair tonic by mistake for hot sauce, and he's getting even. Barrels are free." "Sorry you didn't mention it sooner," we said, and we bought 2 42-gallon casks from the captain, opened every bottle we had, and poured everything together in the casks. That 48% would have ruined us. So we took the chance on making that $1,200 cocktail rather than throw the stuff away. Well, when we landed, we tapped one of the barrels. The mixture was terrible. It was the color of green soup, and it tasted like one of those coffee substitutes your aunt makes you take for heart trouble. We gave a man 4 fingers of it to try it, and he lay under a coconut tree for 3 days, kicking the sand with his heels, and refused to say it was good. But the other barrel— Hey, bartender, have you ever put on a straw hat with a yellow band, gone up in a balloon with a pretty girl, and had $8 million in your pocket all at the same time? That's what 30 drops of it would make you feel like. With 2 fingers of it inside you, you would bury your face in your hands and cry because there wasn't anything more exciting to do. Yes, sir. The stuff in that second barrel was a magic mix of bravery, money, and high life. It was the color of gold and as clear as glass, and it shone in the dark like the sun was still in it. 1,000 years from now, you'll get a drink like that. Well, we started our business with just that one drink, and it was enough. The people in that country loved it like bees love flowers. If that barrel had lasted, that country would have become the best in the world. When we opened in the mornings, we had a line of generals, colonels, ex-presidents, and revolutionists a block long waiting to be served. We started at 50 cents a drink. The last 10 gallons sold for $5 a gulp. It was wonderful stuff. It gave a man courage, ambition, and nerve to do anything. At the same time, he didn't care where his money came from. When that barrel was half gone, Nicaragua had canceled its national debt, removed the tax on cigarettes, and was about to declare war on the United States and England. By accident, we discovered this amazing drink, and it will be by good luck if we find it again. For 10 months we've been trying. We've mixed barrels of all the strong drinks known. You could have stocked 10 bars with the whiskeys, brandies, cordials, bitters, gins, and wines Tim and I have wasted. A glorious drink like that should be shared with the world. It's a shame and a loss of money. The United States as a nation would welcome a drink like that and pay for it. All the while, McQuirk had been carefully measuring and pouring small amounts of different spirits, as Riley called them, from his latest recipe. The completed mix was a bad, mottled chocolate color. McQuirk tasted it and angrily poured it into the waste sink. "It's a strange story, even if it's true," said Con. "I'll be going now to my supper." Take a drink, said Riley. We've all kinds except the Lost Mix. I never drink, said Con. Anything stronger than water. I just met Miss Catherine by the stairs. She said a true word. There's nothing, she said, that isn't better with a little water. When Con had left, Riley almost knocked McQuirk over with a slap on the back. Did you hear that? He shouted. We are two fools. The 6 dozen bottles of Pollinaris we had on the ship. You opened them yourself. Which barrel did you pour them in? I remember, said McQuirk slowly. It was in the second barrel we opened. I remember the blue paper pasted on the side of it. We've got it now, cried Riley. It was the water that did the trick. Everything else we had right. Hurry, man, and get 2 bottles of Pollinaris from the bar, while I figure out the proportions with my pencil. An hour later, Con walked down the sidewalk toward Keneally's cafe. Faithful workers often spend their free time near the places where they work, drawn by some mysterious attraction. A police patrol wagon was at the side door. 3 strong police officers were half carrying, half pushing Riley and McQuirk up its rear steps. Both Riley and McQuirk had bruises and cuts on their faces. Yet they laughed loudly and yelled, even though they were hurt and tired from fighting. They started fighting each other in the back room, explained Keneally to Con, and singing. That was worse. They smashed almost everything. But they're good men. They'll pay for everything. They were trying to invent some new kind of drink. I'll make sure they're okay in the morning. Con walked into the back room to see what had happened. As he walked through the hall, Catherine was coming down the stairs. Good evening again, Mr. Lantry, she said. Is there no news about the weather yet? It still looks like rain, said Con, passing by with a blush on his pale cheek. Riley and McQuirk had indeed fought a big and friendly fight. Broken bottles and glasses were everywhere. The room smelled strongly of alcohol, and the floor had many different colored puddles. On the table stood a large glass measuring cup. In the bottom were 2 tablespoonfuls of liquid, a bright golden liquid that looked like it was holding the sunshine inside. Con smelled it. He tasted it. He drank it. As he walked back through the hall, Catherine was just going up the stairs. No news yet, Mr. Lantry? She asked with her playful laugh. Con lifted her clear from the floor and held her there. The news is, he said, that we're going to be married. Put me down, sir, she cried angrily, or I will. Oh, Con, where did you get the courage to say it?